Welcome to Omaranger 004, and today we will explore the comic book origins of Spider-Woman, Gwendolyn Maxine Stacy. Colloquial. Spider-Gwen, or Ghost Spider. But before we start, please join me on Patreon by Omaranger 004. Your small donation helps run the channel. With that out of the way, let's begin. She is a superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. She was created by Jason Latour and Robbie Rodriguez. The character debuted in Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 2 as part of the 2014-15 Inches Spider-Verse comic book storyline, leading to the ongoing series Spider-Gwen that began in 2015. Spider-Woman is a variant of Spider-Man and an alternate universe version of Gwen Stacy. She lives on Earth 65, where Gwen Stacy is bitten by a radioactive spider and becomes a superhero instead of Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man. The character's various enemies include Earth 65 versions of Matt Murdock and Frank Castle. Gwen Stacy's Spider-Woman harbors much of Peter's personality and conflicts along with his powers and abilities. Spider-Woman was met with positive reviews from critics, with them applauding her design, cited as a popular choice for cosplay, and a feminist perspective. For promotion, several other versions of the character were developed, accompanied by merchandise. She was also featured on animated television series and in multiple video games as a playable character. Dove Cameron voices the character in the 2018-19 Marvel Rising Media franchise as Ghost Spider, an alias later integrated into the comics, while Haley Steinfeld voices the character in the Spider-Verse film series. Laura Bailey, Ashley Johnson, Emily Tennant, Catherine Luciani and Allegra Clark have also provided the character's voice in other media. Earth 65 edit. In the alternate reality designated Earth 65, Gwen Stacy from Midtown High School is a drummer in a band called the Mary Janes, consisting of her and her friends Mary Jane Watson, Betty Brant and Glory Grant, who compete with Felicia Hardy and her band the Black Cats. Bitten by a radioactive spider, Gwen becomes the hero Spider-Woman. Shortly afterward, her friend and classmate Peter Parker attempts to exact revenge on those who bully him, becoming Earth 65's version of the Lizard. Gwen subdues him and Peter dies due to the chemicals he used for his transformation. Spider-Woman is greatly affected by Peter's death and inspired to use her power to protect others. She is blamed for Parker's death publicly by J. Jonah Jameson. Her father, NYPD Chief George Stacy, hunts for Spider-Woman, aided by his world's Captain Frank Castle and Detective Jean DeWolf. During a later confrontation with her father, Gwen reveals her true identity to him. Shocked, he tells her to run. 24. In the Spider-Verse storyline, Gwen of Earth 65 is one of many other spider totems across the multiverse recruited to fight the vampiric Morlun and the Inheritors. 25. Although she is one of several people called Spider-Women who appear, she seems to be the only spider who is also Gwen Stacy, leading to the nickname, Spider-Gwen. Gwen realizes most of her counterparts in other universes are dead, including the Earth 616 Gwen Stacy, who was the first love of Peter Parker, leader of the group fighting the Inheritors. Telling Peter she likewise failed to save her version of him, they both agree to look out for each other. 26. Though Gwen deals with both criminals and enemies in the police department, she also makes allies such as her Earth's versions of Captain America, Samantha Wilson, Reed Richards, and Peggy Carter, the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gwen meets spider heroes of other worlds again on Battleworld in the Secret Wars storyline. 27. During the crossover storyline Sitting in a Tree, she explores a possible romance with Miles Morales, but they stay as friends. 22. Along with battling menaces on her own world, Gwen joins the Web Warriors, a group of spiders with dimensional travel devices who combat threats to other universes, particularly worlds that no longer have a spider of its own to defend it. During the Dead No More, the clone conspiracy storyline, she poses as a clone of Earth-616 Gwen Stacy to help Peter and Kane Parker stop a threat involving the Jackal's carrion virus. 28. After losing her powers, Gwen seeks aid from the corrupt Matt Murdock, this universe's version of the Kingpin, and scientist Elsa Brock. It's discovered that combining the mutagenic lizard serum with isotopes can form a version of the Venom symbiote. Gwen bonds with Elsa Brock's symbiote, restoring her abilities. When Murdock has her father George attacked, Gwen succumbs to the symbiote's baser influence and almost kills the man in revenge. After she spares his life, Murdock reveals he was testing to see if Gwen, like him, would be corrupted by power. 29. After defeating Murdock, Gwen takes full control over the symbiote, reveals her identity to the public, and turns herself over to the authorities for her crimes. After turning down an offer from Captain America to perform Black Ops services in exchange for reduced sentencing, she is convicted for 1 year in a maximum security shield prison. 30. Earth-616 edit. After serving her prison time, Gwen is informed the inheritors have returned and joins the Spider-Geddon storyline. 31. At one point, she is believed by the others to be killed in an explosion. In truth, she survives the explosion but is stranded on Earth-3109, her dimensional transportation device now damaged. 32. The Gwen of that world, who operates as the heroic Green Goblin, creates a new dimensional teleportation device and Earth-65 Gwen returns to the fight against the inheritors. 33. During the final battle, Miles Morales wonders if Gwen is a ghost after seeing her lost in an explosion, inspiring the new nickname, Ghost Spider. 34, and later travels to Earth-90214 after the death of Spider-Man Noir to consult his loved ones while dressed as an airline pilot. Back on Earth-65, Gwen tries to return to her normal life of superhero activities, drumming with the Mary Janes, and attempting to rekindle her relationships with friend Harry Osborn and her father George. Without her secret identity, things prove challenging, leading to judgments from the public and regular attacks by criminals like the Man-Wolf. Additionally, her symbiote starts causing massive headaches while dropping parts of itself as gummy spiders. Since Elsa Brock has disappeared from public life, Gwen travels to Earth-616 to find her counterpart Eddie Brock. Peter Parker of Earth-616, now a teacher at Empire State University, volunteers to analyze the symbiote since his world's Eddie Brock is not a scientist. The two heroes then save people from the villain swarm and Gwen is asked who she is. Since this universe already has a Spider-Woman, Gwen decides she needs a new name. Considering how so many of her multiverse counterparts are dead, as if death loves Gwen Stacy, she decides to adopt her Ghost Spider nickname as a new official alias. 35. Realizing her secret identity is intact in this dimension, Gwen decides to attend college peacefully on Earth-616 without worrying about villains attacking. With Peter's help, she enrolls in Empire State University, explaining to school admissions that she comes from another dimension. This, along with her test records and Parker vouching for her, earns Gwen enrollment and a scholarship that applies to visitors from other worlds and dimensions. Gwen begins regularly attending classes while commuting back and forth from her own Earth, regularly encountering Peter. In costume, she fights menaces on both worlds, including Miles Warren, whose unhealthy obsession with the Earth-616 Gwen Stacy led to him becoming the villainous Jackal. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more videos about your favorite comics, movies are coming soon. Join me on Patreon by OMARanger004. Your small donation helps run the channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.